Anyway, so what I'll do is I'll start with two poems, one by John Anderson and one by Lucille Clifton. Unfortunately, they're both gone from this dimension, but they still have a lot to do with the way I think about poems. And if you don't know John Anderson's work, he kind of disappeared. He was really, I think, kind of known in the 70s and 80s, and he kind of vanished. Lucille Clifton, probably all of you know Lucille Clifton, and she was one of the great voices of the latter part of the 20th century and the early part of this century. This is called Years. This is by John Anderson. Sometimes in weariness I stop. Because I've been lucky, I think the future must be plain. Over the trees, the stars are quite small. My friends talk quietly, and we have come to the same things. Now if I die, I will inherit a while their similar bodies. Now if I listen, someone is telling a story. The characters met. They enchanted each other by speech. Though the stories they lived were not the same, many were distracted into love, slept and woke alone, a while serene. Oh, he was a lovely, lovely writer. One of my favorite lines of his from years ago, I wish I knew the whole poem, but I don't. He had a poem that ended, "The secret of poetry is cruelty." Yeah, he was something else. He was really something else. This is a poem called Hag Riding. It's by Lucille Clifton, and it's a poem. I mean, I wish I had many more poems memorized than I do, but this is one that I say to myself on any of those days when you feel like like the world is just too fucked up, and you just don't know if you can take another step. You know, you just think, oh man, you know, it has a lot to do, of course, with the current political situation, but not only here in America, but globally. Got some terrible things developing. I'll just put that aside for now, but this is the poem I say. This is one of the poems I say to keep my head at least somewhat above water, right? Hag riding. Why is what I ask myself. Maybe it is the African in me, still trying to get home after all these years. But when I wake to the heat of morning, galloping down the highway of my life, something hopeful rises in me, rises and runs me out into the road, and I lob my fierce thigh high over the rump of the day, and honey, I ride.